I first made this sort of Boruto power scaling video in the beginning stages of the 2 Blue Vortex manga, and since then, Boruto has made impressive improvements, gathering more and more feats since chapter 2, that being the last time I made a video like this. Now, in this video, I'm aiming to talk about all of Boruto's feats so far, as well as talk about some future plans that Ikimoto may have for Boruto in regards to his overall development as a shinobi. So yes, that means I will be mentioning the JOUGAN and how powerful he could be with it. So first, before I hop into the video, I want to ask if you could drop a quick like on the video, as it would help the channel perform better in the YouTube algorithm and help me gain even more viewership. I don't know when I'll have this video out. I'm aiming to have it out before the official release of chapter 14. So don't be mad if Boruto did something noteworthy in the new chapter and I didn't cover it in this video. As the time I'm recording this video, chapter 14 isn't out. Just thought I needed to say that. But now that we got that out of the way, let's hop right into the video. So I think I'll start off where I left off last time. So you could probably just think of this video as a new and improved part 2 to the first video I made. Dating back to chapter 2, I had Boruto around the level of Ishiki, more realistically probably a little bit weaker than him, but much stronger than the likes of JOUGAN. But let's just be honest, fellas, a lot has changed since then. Even if we still haven't seen Boruto go up against objectively the strongest character in the Boruto series coming out of part 1, there has been some other interesting antagonists that was introduced into the story that Boruto has fought that could give us the same idea. The Shinju was introduced to the story in chapter 4. The Shinju are humanoid variants of the 10 tails that were created by Code, and evolved Clawgrime is the easiest way to describe them. It was pretty obvious from the start that they were way stronger than the likes of Code. But of course we have the statement by Ada to back us up here, where she says they were out of Code's league, which automatically means they're threats that surpass JOUGAN in terms of raw power, and they cemented that theory as soon as they fought with Boruto, being able to apply more pressure on him than Code, and withstand a lightning style attack from point blank range, basically not even being affected by it at all. So already you see they're one of the more durable characters. And to be fair, I'm not saying Code couldn't tank this as well, because I very much think he could. It's more of me just hyping up the Shinju to further push my narrative, and to give you more of an idea of just how powerful they are. For the most part, when it comes to one-on-one situations, Boruto has shown the ability to be able to hold his own against most of the Shinju he's faced so far, even going as far as almost one-shotting one of them. But that's for later in the video, of course. First, let's look at how Boruto stacks up against his peers, the new generation of shinobi. I don't think I need to deep dive on Boruto versus KAWAKI. We all know how that's gonna go for now. But Mitsuki is a slightly better case, I guess. There's also some interesting statements that came from that battle as well. The first and most known statement was when Mitsuki said he understands Boruto's power level. To make Code retreat means he's way above KAWAKI's level. So this statement implies two things. It implies that because Boruto beat Code, he's above KAWAKI, which means Mitsuki thinks KAWAKI would lose to Code at his current level. I'm not taking Mitsuki's word as scripture, because obviously he's never seen KAWAKI in his V2 state, which is nothing to sniff at when it comes to the amp and power that it supplies to his user. I think with his V2, he's not definitively above No Limit Code, but it would probably be closer than what Mitsuki thinks. But that has nothing to do with Boruto, who's above both of them by a considerable amount. So after this, Boruto tells Mitsuki that if KAWAKI doesn't stand a chance, then Mitsuki damn sure doesn't. And Boruto is probably the only one that's seen KAWAKI's V2 state, besides Shikamaru and Code and Naruto too, but he's not here right now. So yeah, we ball, I guess. Okay, so Boruto views Mitsuki being weaker than KAWAKI, who in his eyes is weaker than Code. But that might not be the case at all, because Mitsuki says the reason he left KAWAKI behind was not only to protect him against Boruto, but to let loose completely without deferring to him. Possibly meaning at his strongest, without holding back, Mitsuki thinks he's at least equal to or stronger than V1 KAWAKI. That's what I got from that statement anyway. So regarding where Boruto stands against his peers, I don't think anyone could have defeated Code so swiftly if they're put in the same position. Sarada is the only one where we don't completely know where she caps off at, because we just haven't seen her Mangekyo Sharingan. But to be as realistic as possible, she probably wouldn't have been able to defeat Code along with his Claw Grime army. I know some people might look at her feats against Hidari, and as impressive as it is, if it was a solo fight, she would still lose. And let's just say I have an extreme Sarada fanboy watching this video, and they believe that Sarada outscales Code because of her showings against Hidari. She still wouldn't be able to beat Code as easy as Boruto did. So you wouldn't necessarily put her above Boruto based on the Code or Hidari battle. So for now, it's safe to say Boruto is the strongest in Konoha, no question, treating the strongest shinobi of that village like play toys. So basically, we just wasted the last 2-3 minutes of this video talking about something that had no impact in our Boruto propaganda. But somehow, you gotta put things like this in the video, because even though the proof is right there in front of your eyes, you'll always have that one guy or girl that swears up and down Sarada outscales Boruto, or Kawaki at his strongest overpowers him or something like that. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get back into the discussions that really matter. Now, when it comes to Boruto's physical stats, he's pretty impressive. His Otsutsuki genes give him a crazy boost in his regenerative ability, and his speed and reaction time is otherworldly too. He was able to dodge Kawaki's rods, which should be moving at speeds that even the Sharingan failed to follow correctly. You see, speed and reaction time are very different, and we learned that early on in the series. Even though you can perfectly perceive a movement or a projectile coming at you, you still have to have the necessary speed to move your body in time to dodge or counter the attack. And we see here, Boruto is able to do both. So yes, you could say Boruto is among the greatest in the series when it comes to raw stats alone. And don't get the wrong idea. I'm not even saying he's just outright faster than the likes of Naruto, who was out here blitzing literal gods with ease, because that's not the point I'm trying to make. When it comes to Boruto's raw power, the abilities he possesses amps up his overall strength massively. The main two abilities I'm referring to is the Flying Raijin technique and the Rasengan Uzuhiko. These two abilities alone take Boruto to another level. On top of his overall speed and strength, one of the main reasons why Minato was called the Yellow Flash was because of his mastery over the Flying Raijin and his ability to use it on the fly to catch his opponents off guard or get out of sticky situations. And this is what I mean. You take Boruto's current base speed and add the Flying Raijin ability to it, he can achieve levels of speed that could be relative to any version of KCM Naruto. And the same goes with the Uzuhiko. Still to this day, I believe the Uzuhiko is the most powerful technique ever introduced in the Naruto series, and for great reason too. First, I want to say, if you didn't see the in-depth analysis I did on the Uzuhiko, go ahead and check that out before proceeding on with the video. But if you already understand the Uzuhiko completely and all the pros and cons it comes with, then we're all good. But to be blunt, that attack is one-shotting everyone in the series. Doesn't matter who you are. Boruto hit Hidari with an Uzuhiko and it completely demolished him, left nothing but half of his torso. And keep in mind, that Uzuhiko wasn't even at full power. We have yet to see what that technique looks like at its max power, and it already left all of his victims incapacitated. And mind you, even if it doesn't completely destroy you, it leaves you in an everlasting state of vertigo that only gets worse for you as time goes on. Like, Boruto having these crazy overpowered abilities, it only makes him stronger. Most characters don't have an ability that can buff their overall power like that. Just because of one, maybe two abilities, you can bump a Boruto at least 3 spots in the overall rankings of power in the verse. That's just an example. I already think Boruto was top 2, excluding Chibai. But you get the point. I'm sorry, but based off his feats against Code and Hidari, and statements about his abilities, I'm gonna be putting him above the Ishiki that fought against Naruto. He's able to one-shot any of the Shinju with the Uzuhiko, and he's able to go one-on-one with any of them and hold his own. The only problem is when they're jumping him. I mean, that's when it gets kinda crazy. But just them alone, Boruto should be able to handle. All but one, that being JURA. You see, JURA is a weird case, because he has all the statements in the world that he can win in a fight against Boruto. But when it comes to his overall resume and feats, it's really nothing eye-opening that he's done so far. He's beat up Kawaki, great. Boruto's done that already. He beat up Himawari, a 12-year-old girl that just awakened to her Nine-Tails power. Although that's technically a more intriguing fight, it's nothing to where I can confidently say, yeah, Boruto's just not doing that. He does have a nice little off-guard feat against Boruto, showing he has the capability of bypassing Boruto's durability and greatly injuring it. But we really haven't seen him fight seriously or even be challenged to a point where he feels threatened. That's why I say JURA's a weird case. Of course, as the story goes on, we'll see more of where he stands among the strongest, but from what the story is trying to show us so far, I'll say he's slightly above Boruto for right now. Those rankings could change, which means I'll probably have to make a part 3 to this video, but it's whatever. Now, when it comes to Boruto's potential, it's really hard to say how strong he can be in the future, and that's because of Kashin Koji's training. Using his prescient Shinjutsu, he was able to see how strong Boruto was and teach him all the moves and jutsu he mastered in the future. This accelerated his learning process and optimized his training to the max, so it leaves room for him to become twice as strong, or even possibly more than he was supposed to be in the original timeline. And he'll be way better at the flying Raijin technique too, possibly better than Minato was at it. He's already able to use the flying Raijin in a way that Minato wasn't able to, by using it to traverse different dimensions. So honestly, the potential is there, and way more now that he's basically already at the level he's supposed to be at in the endgame. It's like he's starting his story on level 60, while everyone else is only on level 20. Now, by the time where Boruto's supposed to be at level 60, he'll be well on his way to level 120. He's already had a crazy head start, and if he doesn't have a period of time where he slacks off like KAWAKI, then he should be just fine. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on stuff that's headcanon or speculation, because I want to talk about his JOUGAN, something that's already been confirmed to be canon. But since Boruto is now 100% Otsutsuki, he could have experienced great changes to his body. Changes like him discovering his ability to fly, and other changes like him manifesting Momoshiki's Byakugan in his right eye, as well as manifesting Momoshiki's Rinnegan on his left hand. And that could be the reason why he keeps that glove over his hand. Since Boruto is right-handed and his karma is on his right hand, the glove isn't used to help him on his swordsmanship or to hide the karma. It's essentially just there to look good. That's what we're thinking for right now, but it could be much more than that. And if Boruto is in the possession of the Rinnegan, it gives him access to a number of crazy abilities aside from chakra absorption, that he already has of course, like mastery of all 5 changes in chakra nature. He already has access to like 3 of them: wind, lightning, and water. And if Sasuke taught him how to perform fire style attacks, then that's 4. So it really makes sense if he could just use all 5 with his Rinnegan. I mean, he's well on his way to mastering all 5 on his own anyway. But all of that was just speculation though. Now, something that Boruto is well on his way of awakening is his JOUGAN Dojutsu. The Dojutsu itself doesn't appear to offer him any overpowering abilities that he can use in combat like the Sharingan or Rinnegan, but it does help him in other places like the ability to see into other dimensions, read chakra and other mysterious energies of humans, and potentially the ability to rewrite the future. So even though it doesn't directly impact Boruto's fighting ability, it still makes him more skillful and that much harder to defeat. And I mean, let's just say you put all of that and just stack the karma on top of it. That just makes him even stronger. But I didn't really talk about the karma because, I mean, Boruto can't use it anyway because of Momoshiki. Like, he literally cannot use the karma at all. Like, if he uses the karma, it's wraps. Momoshiki is taking over his body. So I decided not to go too deep on the karma because the odds of Boruto actually using it in a fight is very, very low at this point, considering his control over the karma has progressively gotten worse ever since part 1. So yeah, I just left it out for now. If Boruto relies more on the karma by the time I make part 3 of this video, then yeah, we'll talk about the karma more. But obviously it supplies him with a great amp in power. But does it change the rankings too extreme? I don't think so. I still think Boruto is like top 2, with or without the karma. So as far as chapter 13 goes, like I said, Boruto to me is probably the 2nd strongest, at worst 3rd strongest character in his verse. Top 3 being JURA, Boruto, and I'm still gonna put Damon in that top spot. So you decide where or how you want to rank them according to that info. But let me know how you feel regarding Boruto's overall strength. Did I miss anything vital or important to his overall ability that could have changed the rankings in any way? I mean, if it did, just let me know in the comment section, man. Just let me know. So if you like this video and want to see more like this in the future, then drop a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next one, or part 3 to this video, I'ma see y'all boys and girls later. And I'm out. Peace.